Hi, welcome back to another episode of Life Changers. This is Mike, and today we're going to talk about perspective. How, from some people's perspective, I suck. No, I'm just joking. We're going to talk about perspective. How two people could be in the same situation or driving on a bus, and one person be like, "This is so boring. I just want to get to the destination," and just, right? And then the other person sitting next to them is looking out the window like, "Wow, this is so beautiful. Look at all the different towns we get to see. Look at all the nature. Look at everything." And you can look out the window. Hey, driving to Toronto. Driving to Toronto, Canada. I know Toronto's a big city, but there's spots where if you look out the window and there's some fields, you can see some deer. Fun fact about perspective. I'm usually the one driving, so whenever I'm not driving, I try to look out the window and change my perspective and just enjoy where you are, enjoy life. You know, that's the hardest part. When it comes to perspective, that's the hardest part. So you want to try to find people with, I guess, not similar perspective as you, have happy-go-lucky, kuna matata, life is awesome, let's enjoy life while we can, and we'll take one day at a time, like no stress. But then don't get me wrong, there's awesome people that plan ahead and that know their whole life before they even do it and try to follow their thing. I meet a lot of people, like I go to a lot of different events. I just went to an event this last weekend, hanging out with people, talking around the fire. One individual is a psychologist, and another individual just like doing whatever she wants, just different jobs, just trying to find her happiness. And then she was asking me like, "Hey, I'm just there giggling, laughing, having a great time. Different perspective. We're both in the same place, same time, same fire, same people around us." And she's like, "Hey, you seem happy. Did you figure out the formula?" And I'm like, "Well, I figured out a formula that works for me." See, one thing with all this podcast, with me talking, doing all this talking and stuff, is actually to benefit me. And this is what works for me. And this is my perspective. And I want to try to help people find their perspective and find what works for them through all this gibberish, I guess, or verbal diarrhea, some people tell me, that I'm putting out there. But it really helps me, and I hope it can help other people. So with this lady, I'll just sit there. She's like, "Well, just tell me, what do you do for fun or for living? Do you stress? Do you work hard?" I said, "No, not anymore. Like, I just Hakuna Matata." I said, I literally live by that. Like, means no worries, right? I just do what I want to do. And yeah, for the last 21 years, I've been working with the same, like the same area in Canada, and the same people that I like to work with, and the same concept. And people say, "How do you start? Like, how do you get to the middle of nowhere and make a business in the middle of nowhere?" And people are like, "Right place, right time." And yeah, that's part of it. But mainly just the way I've always lived is I just went with the flow of life and believed, because remember in other episodes, my brother always told me, "Hey man, whatever happens in life, it's always, good, because everything's awesome. Whatever we want happens, and everything happens is going to be amazing for us." And that's the way it is. Like, so I took opportunities that brought me to the middle of nowhere, and I made a business out of it. And trust me, it wasn't easy. People are like, "Wow, like you got it all figured out. Teach me, tell me what I need to do to be successful." I could tell you exactly what to do to be successful, but you won't be successful unless you want to be. I know it sounds crazy, but it's that. I literally have to make a decision, and I've been doing this for 21 years, and I still feel like I'm not successful. I don't know what I'm doing. I know a lot. I got a lot of information. I know I'm probably ahead of some people, but I'm way behind a majority of people that know a lot about law of attraction, meditations, or as I like to call it, hacking the matrix, or law of attraction, where finding the vibration or the energy of money, or find the energy or the vibration of love and all that. But I think I didn't have a lot of information, but just putting it to practice is the hard part. But people's perspective probably of me is like, wow, you got it all figured out there. You're smart. You must be really successful. You must be really rich. But no, I don't feel like I should feel successful, because like I mentioned in other episodes, if I go back to younger me, even like 10 years ago, 5 years ago even, I'd be like, hey, this is what's going to happen. You're going to double, you're going to triple in size in 2 years. You're going to get so big. You're going to figure out something, and it's just going to be like, oh, light bulb turned on, and then you're going to run with it. You're going to find the vibration of money, and good ideas are just going to flow to you, and you're going to see all this stuff, and you're like, oh, I can make this a bit, I can make this, and you're going to start flipping out. Concentrate. Just slap myself across, concentrate, focus. That's one thing is, I get really excited where I just see all this opportunity, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do everything. I'm going to be a voice actor now. Yeah. But no, I got to focus and relax and just go with the flow, like the surrender experiment. But if I go back just 5 years and tell myself all this stuff, I'll be like, holy smokes, I finally made it. That's perspective back then. But now the perspective of me doing it, I guess I'm kind of jaded. I'm like, I want more. And you know what the sad part is? The next aha moment that I got to get my body, my mind into, I already know it, but I got to actually believe it and do it, is just be happy where I am. Just live in the moment. That's the only perspective you need. You don't need what happened 10 years ago, what happened yesterday, what happened when you woke up this morning. You only need what's happening right now, and make the decision now to make life easy, like previous episode. Change your perspective. That's the hardest part for everybody, because we've been pre-programmed, and whatever you've been pre-programmed, like, you got to figure that out for yourself. But I've told you about a book, and I'll mention it again. It's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. It's changed my life, and I want it to change your life, and it helped me realize that what I was pre-programmed for, and now I need to break all that, reprogram it. And once I could figure that out, which I start working on, and program and just be happy, that is when you truly made it. That anything is possible. When your heart blows open with love, compassion for the world and everybody in it, that is when you made it. And anything, I say it again, anything is possible. And you'll be able to achieve anything, do anything you want, and the world is your oyster, and you'll be Hakuna Matata all day long, and just running around singing that song. I'm actually going to make it my ringtone because I need to hear that all the time. Like, you know what? When I start a meditation, I'm going to start it with that and end it with that song, because it's all about perspective, man. Like, I have one of my best friends, like, his perspective is life is hard, everything bad happens to me, and negative Nancy, or negative person that I call him, and I'm always like, life is awesome, or like that song, everything is awesome. That's from the Lego movie. Everything is awesome. But yeah, like, for me, I'm just happy-go-lucky, full of energy. And some people say they can't handle that. When I'm hanging around there, I'll take you in doses, Mike, because you're too full and too happy. But that's just the way it is. Here's a perspective for you. Here's a perspective story. Like, then I'll finish off with this. This is a funny story. Okay. So I'm hanging out in Montreal, Quebec. And we used to go to this restaurant. All my friends would get together on Friday nights, and usually would frequent this restaurant called La Belle Province. In English, it's the beautiful province. And they have, like, steamy dogs, hamburgers, French fries made out of real potatoes, and our famous poutine, as people call it in English, but poutine in French. But anyways, I digress. And we're just hanging out there, and we're all like, I guess, similar in the sense we're all just happy, and like we know the world is our oyster, and we're just having a great time in life. And the guy that will work there on the night shift, when we came through, we usually came through 11 o'clock at night, hung out until 1 o'clock, and then either went our different ways, or we would end up there after going karaoke and just hanging out with my friends, like, and stuff. Like, this is like 16, 17, 18 years ago. And, yeah, just chilling and having fun. This guy would come up to us and say, like, hey, are you the leader of this group? And I'm like, no, man, we're just all a bunch of good friends hanging out, having a great time, just loving life. He's like, cool. What do you want? I'm like, what do you mean? What am I on? He goes, man, I've been working here for 5 years, and every time you guys come in, this place is like just a different ball of energy. It's just everything is awesome, or life is great, and you guys are always happy, having an amazing time. So what do you want? You guys aren't drunk. I'm like, no, we don't drink. Like most of us don't. And he's like, so what do you want? I'm like, we're not on anything, man. We're just on life. We just love it. Like, it's all about perspective. I just found a group of friends that most of us were all, I guess, optimists and just enjoy life. But from that guy's perspective, he insisted that we were not allowed to be that happy and enjoying life. And just like the world is our oyster. Anything we want will happen. He just couldn't understand that. Or he thought, no, you guys are on something. And no, we're not. That's his perspective. But in the end, I'm going to reiterate it again. You have to find out what you've been pre-programmed, how you're going to rectify your pre-programming, and reprogram yourself, and then change your perspective, and just go with the flow. And then we'll leave it there. On the next episode, I'm going to talk about more of probably going with the flow of the universe, or how to find it or understand it a little bit better. And yeah, just take it from there. Just, hey, Kuna Matata, why plan ahead? So thank you for listening. We'll talk to you again soon.